By now, we've all seen the tweets that LeBron sent out yesterday. He's had enough of burning jerseys and players finding their way onto new teams via trade or free agency and fans not having it, right? So he's called out the hypocrisy of those fans siding with bosses over employees. Only in sports do we live in this alternative universe where that seems to be commonplace, even though in real life, most of us are doing our best to stick it to the man. See, while you've sat there dissecting every move LeBron makes, he's been creating a legacy that reaches far beyond anything he's accomplished on the court. A legacy of empowerment. He shocked the sports world by severing ties with his agents when he was a youngster, then creating opportunities for his lifelong friends to learn the ropes and manage those businesses. Then, the decision. Perhaps the biggest overreaction in sports history. I said at the time, if this becomes the worst moment in LeBron James' career, we're all going to feel pretty silly about it. By the way, it's okay to admit you overreacted to this. It's been 7 years. Let's not forget, though, how this then turned into a tour of misguided hatred, spearheaded by the infamous letter that Cavs owner Dan Gilbert wrote in Comic Sans. We all remember that December night in 2010 when he returned to Cleveland. The hatred was in the air and it was palpable, unlike anything most of us have ever seen in sports. He took that. He wasn't comfortable that first year in Miami. He went into seclusion for weeks after losing the 2011 finals to Dallas. But then he was validated, winning multiple titles in Miami after 4 straight finals appearances. LeBron and the Heat went from villains to the Heatles. Despite the rough terrain, he proved that you can create your own path and be better for it on the other side. He returned to Cleveland and perhaps won the most improbable championship in the sport's history. Those same fans that booed him in 2010 will now build statues for him. No one knows that fan is short for fanatic better than LeBron. I mean, he's lived it. So as we sit here dissecting his tweets and perhaps cynicism creeping in about his intentions, oh my God, is he saying that he's going to get ready to leave again? Who cares? He's a grown man who's lived up to every possible expectation we've put on him, both on and off the floor. And more importantly, he's a trailblazer. He's empowered athletes unlike anyone has since the days of Muhammad Ali. That's something Kevin Durant saw and snatched for himself. And ironically now, his former teammate Kyrie Irving will get to experience it. The ability to control your own destiny. All thanks to the king. All right, guys, my question. Chris, I'll start with you. Does the NBA, do the players owe him a debt of gratitude?
Somewhat. It might be a little bit of strong context, but somewhat. But look, before LeBron James did what he did in going to Miami, what he did essentially is gave the players more options. Before, teams had the right to hold a player under contract 5, 6, 7 years. And during that time, players felt obligated because now you're kind of drawing this love affair between players, between the fans and that particular player. So now, what that gives them more options to leave with KD going to Golden State, Gordon Hayward going over to Utah. Now it's like, okay, I might have felt obligated. Gordon Hayward going to Boston. Now players say, I may have felt obligated in those terms, but did ownership or management ever feel obligated to me, to keep me with the same team? So now it's just all open. And still, this is going to be a drastic move that I don't see a lot of players taking, but it's showing that LeBron James and KD can do it. Then maybe that could open up the possibility for me as well.
It definitely seems like he's empowered more players to feel ownership over their own decisions and their own path and their own future. And beyond that, he speaks so much about social, cultural issues. I mean, he's asked about everything under the sun, and he doesn't just defer, say I want to stick to the core. He talks about everything. And then you see so many other players that decide they maybe if there was a certain issue they felt shy about, they feel open to talk about it as well. So you see Karl Anthony Towns published a piece in the Players Tribune talking about Charlottesville, and that's just one of many examples of players speaking out on social and cultural issues, especially now. And how much of that would have taken place were LeBron James not so open about a lot of these issues? I really think he's lent a voice to so many players who might otherwise not have felt as if they have.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Look, I was there in Miami when all that stuff happened. I was there for the big party to begin with and all the games that they traveled to where they were booed mercilessly everywhere. He took a lot of those bullets. Like Kevin Durant had cupcakes, right? Like that's what he dealt with when he went back to OKC. When LeBron went back there was real vitriol, man.
There was vitriol. Yeah, he went back to cup. That's a good analogy. He went back to cupcake. He went back to sweetness. That was the extent of the ruthlessness Durant had to deal with. Another thing, with the social media, LeBron James probably goes about his social media probably as impactful and effectiveness as any other NBA player, which gives him more empowerment as well. Think about when the league was embracing Michael Jordan.
Right.
There was no social media.
Right.
And so the league promoted him. Nowadays, LeBron is showing with your social media platform, you can empower yourself and expose yourself. And
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.